Canadian science genius Charles Fleischer, astrologer and famous mom Jackie Stallone, psychiatrist Craig Middleton, and the Scrap. And now, say goodnight to Mark DeCarlo!
Thanks very much. All right. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Goodnight America, folks. I'm glad to have you here. Have you met our band, Scraps? Now, we're just stretching out here. We moved into this new studio, and one of the coolest things about this new studio, folks, is our resident pundit, raconteur, announcer to the stars. Give it up for Mr. Eric Charles Boardman.
This audience can read an applause sign, can't
Boy,
they?
can they?
You know, a lot of people...
Do we even have an applause sign here?
It's on order.
Do we?
Now, yeah, a lot of people certainly know you from your past. You do so many wonderful things, but there are people out there who don't know every single important thing about Mark DeCarlo. So if you don't mind, Mark DeCarlo, this is your career.
Get out! Did you know about that? I'm very flattered. Well, that's cool. I thought we were going to do something else.
Excuse me. There's nothing in here. So... Can we do this later? Somebody was supposed to,
Great. That's why we're here, though, right?
To build things, to fill this, so in a month or two, this will be chock full of good stuff.
Sure. Will you guys all come back when I actually have a career and we can do that bit?
I'm sorry.
All right, well, let's just start the show, darn it, Eric. Our first guest is a comedian and an actor you've probably seen in My Girl 2, Dick Tracy, Back to the Future 2, but you probably know his voice better than his face, if you're lucky. Don't do that back there. Please, welcome the voice of Roger Rabbit and the only guy I know personally who has his own ride at Disneyland. Please, welcome Mr. Charles Fleischer.
I love these toys.
We've got
This
a
is
curling
great.
expedition later, don't
I've never seen this kind of money spent on a set.
you like that?
Do you know what it costs? That looks like a wall. That's an actual set they built. They hired people to come in and make it look real like that. Boy, and these chairs, I think I saw them in Monty Hall's garage set.
We got a fabulous deal on them, though.
Hey, you must be working for a budget, but hey, that's why you got me here, mister.
Sure. I got to start. The first time I ever saw you on TV.
Wait a minute. Look into my eyes. Now, if you have two of these, each is half filled. If you put them like that, you have a whole filter, see? That's what you call using your head. Now, you put a little piece of cheese in there, see? And you can just slice it like that. You can grate the cheese, and then you can just use them as earrings. Sorry, Mark, I got a bit carried away, but that's the norm for me, isn't it?
Do you juggle?
I can juggle.
I bet you can. Juggle 3.
I'm not going to do it. You know why?
Why?
It would be too easy.
And juggle all of them.
I could do that, but your show hasn't been on long enough.
That would generate too much press. You're right.
5th year. I could, maybe light your set on fire.
Okay. Did you read that in the paper a couple weeks ago?
No, actually, I heard about it through a colony of ants. I'm messing with you, but that's to get you ready for the next guest.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we pretty much
had
wasted all that
questions.
time.
But, basically, I find that questions don't really work that well. You know why? Because people sense that it's been planned out. You understand?
Sure.
They know that you're thinking, what's he going to do next? And they sense your fear, and that makes them happy.
That is so true. So you fancy yourself somewhat of an amateur, not even an amateur scientist, CD-ROM. What's the title of your CD thing that you're doing?
Right now, it's The Universe According to Virgil.
And who's Virgil?
Virgil Reality is the person who will lead you through.
Sure.
He thinks I'm kidding.
No, I know
Just
you're
like
telling the
boy that
truth.
cried wolf.
Well.
I swear I was telling the truth on the last joke.
Well, we figured that you're one of the, hippest, smartest, funniest scientists around, and we thought we had a game in the office that we thought we'd work on. We call it Ask Charlie Fleischer, so it's good that you're here because we can play it with you.
All right, you can
All
do
right?
that.
We got some science questions that we don't know the answers to.
Okay.
Why does Don...
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I had a feeling that this is not going to be like college bowl kind of question.
No, it is not.
Tulane, 22 points.
I'm sorry.
Machiavellian donuts were first sold by protoplasmics to who?
Alan
Tulane.
Ludden. No. Charles, why does Don Hare's...
Why does Don Hare's king?
Yeah, stand up.
To make Bert and Ernie feel like soldiers.
Okay. If a train's leaving Cleveland at 6 a.m. and is traveling to Chicago at 60 miles an hour, wouldn't it be cheaper to fly?
Depends whether you have extra mileage or not.
All right. How do you tell the difference between Albert Einstein and Albert Schweitzer? They both look so much alike. Man.
One had a yarmulke in his glove compartment at all times. And I won't tell you which one it is.
Please
it was
don't.
right underneath the road map and an old box of jujubes, where the red ones were stuck to the top of the box, and your fingers weren't long enough to grab it out, and you just smacked the whole thing and it fell down the gutter.
Oh, jeez. Who's smarter, Mr. Spock or Data?
I don't think that's a fair question because they're both fake characters. You're trying to mess with me now, man. You told me this would be real-like questions? Okay, like, who gets more women, Winnie the Pooh or Butterscotch Bear?
Actually, if you weren't a comedian, would you think you might have been a scientist?
Well, in all actuality, I consider myself a scientist now.
Really?
I think a scientist is defined by the way in which you see the world. A regular person like, wow, it's a beautiful day, but a scientist says, it's a beautiful day, but how does it work? I must know what happens to the intrinsic applications of membrane technology, osmosis, trichinosis. Oh, big words. I'm getting tumescent.
Okay, well, I've got no questions. Will you stick around for the rest of the show and we'll talk about science later, perhaps?
I would love to, Mark.
You want him to stay? Yeah. All right, stick around. We're going to come back with Dr. Craig Middleton. Don't go away.
If you or someone you know has herpes, then this is important to watch because the product I'm going to share with you is guaranteed to work. It's called Azurex. There is no cure for herpes, but there is something guaranteed to stop outbreaks, provide soothing relief, and accelerate healing. In this attack pack, there are 5 individual swabs. They are easy to carry and easy to use. Just snap it to activate it. If you feel an outbreak coming on, apply Azurex after that first tingle and immediately feel the relief. So if you're looking for something that's powerful, natural, and really works, then order Azurex now.
Our next guest has just written his 3rd self-help book, at least as of last week, and it has hit number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list. What Stephen King is to horror fiction, this man is to pop psychology books. Please welcome the best-selling author of You Think You're Okay, But You're Not, psychologist and self-help guru, Dr. Craig Middleton. Thank you. Dr. Middleton. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us tonight, Doc.
It's nice to be here.
This is your 3rd book.
It's my 3rd self-help book. I've actually written 53 books, and I've only been writing for 2 years, so I pump them, I get them going. I've got a lot to say.
That's pretty impressive. You think you're okay, but you're not. What's your central theme? Right? To be honest with you,
The central theme of the book is, while you, as an individual, may think that you're okay, in actuality, you are not. For instance, how do you feel at this time in your life? How do you feel mentally, yourself?
I'm actually in a pretty good mood today.
See,
I feel...
That's very bad. You've got a lot of problems. If you feel good about yourself, you're not seeing what you can improve.
So what if I'm suicidal?
That's very good. That's very good. Because you're opening up to new ideas. Someone who comes into me and says, I'm crazy, life is hell, I don't want to live, that person's fine.
So you just send them on their way?
I would. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Now, how does this book, you find something strange in there?
Oh, there's a lot of pictures in
man.
there. I'm not big on words.
I'm not okay. I think I'm okay, but I'm not.
Yes! Yes!
No!
I would send him home.
No!
All right.
I'm not okay. I didn't think I... Oh, man. I thought I was okay, but I'm not.
Yes!
I'm not okay. Oh, man.
I'm guessing you get a lot of business here in Hollywood, Doctor.
Yes, of course. It's the best place to be.
Can you tell us any famous stars that you've actually worked with?
I don't want to mention any names. I've seen a lot of people. There is one gentleman. I will not use names.
No!
Why don't you keep that copy? I have a lot of copies of the book.
Thanks a lot. I feel a lot better.
I have a...
See, that would be bad then.
Yes, it would be bad. Excuse me. You know...
Why do you think this book has touched such a nerve with people? I mean, he just cracked it open and he's breaking down.
I think people want to be helped. I do help a lot of people in this town. There's one gentleman, I will not mention names, let's call the man Phil. Phil has a lot of problems. He has problems with women growing up in life. He was hated by his family. It got to Phil, year after year, he would have nightmares each night.
Phil has nightmares.
Phil would have nightmares, alone, naked on a beach, dragging a blind pit bull on a sled. It began to escalate until Phil no longer felt he was Phil. The man's name is Phil, by the way.
I know what you're talking about. And I'm better than that now.
All right.
Why do you think, what about this book is, I know a lot of people have gone through your therapy and marriages have broken up, families have broken up. Why
But that's good. If a marriage is lasting, it's obvious that two people are hiding something. To be able to break up, to be able to say, get out, I no longer love you, there's an honesty there.
So where do you get, most times, I would imagine people who are mentally upset or deranged would seek out the consultation of a psychiatrist. If someone's happy-go-lucky walking down the street, how do they know to find you and come and talk to you?
They'd have to realize it about themselves. They would have to say to myself, my God, I am happy. I need help. It's no good unless you admit it to yourself.
I see. So you work with someone until they're completely depressed.
Oh, exactly. It's reading. For instance, say we were in a bar, okay? Say I was a very attractive, tall, blonde lady, a young Irene Ryan.
Okay.
And you were coming in, offering me a drink. Charles, perhaps you could be a waiter. Okay. We're
Do you
at a
feel okay
bar
enough to be
late
a
at
waiter?
I
night.
feel much better, by the way. I think you're brilliant, Doctor.
Thank you.
I really do. Can I be a maitre d'?
If you prefer.
Thank you.
Let's just try it.
But if he thinks you're brilliant, that means you're a fool. I mean, if I'm getting the drift of your theory...
If I think he's brilliant, I'm a fool.
Yes.
I don't want to, but I'm sorry, I mean, I don't want to be rude. You're here and you're our guest.
No, we're not here. We're at a bar.
Right, okay, so
Your table is ready, Mr. DeCarlo.
Thank
Is
you
it
very much.
non-smoking?
Of course, there's no smoking in this bar, you lung-diseased bastard.
So, Susie,
Get lost.
so now we're going to get married.
Yes!
Yeah.
She was coming on to you. Any woman who says, let's leave the restaurant, go home, I have to have you, let's sleep together, she's not interested.
Well, that's good then. Every woman on our staff wants me then. That's good to know. What's the next step in your theory, would you say, your
I would
work?
say book 53.
And what will that be about?
It's called What's Wrong with Chicks. It deals with the woman inside all of us.
Now, a lot of women would think that the term chick would be kind of a derogatory term. Meaning a
I
woman.
think if I used woman again, that would be bad. Chick, dame, it's a respect thing.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here, Doctor. Stick around. We're going to be right back with Jackie Stallone. Don't go away.
I'd love to sign that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a world-famous astrologer, a leader in the field of physical fitness, and the mom of 3 famous showbiz kids. Please welcome Jacqueline Stallone. Welcome here, Jacqueline. Now, how'd you get started in astrology?
Basically, I should thank my ex-husband, Frank Stallone. I haven't seen him in 35. Oh, I don't even clap. I hate him.
But see, that's good.
Why?
Let the hate out. That's good.
Basically, I was on the stage and I thought it was pretty important.
How'd you get on the stage?
Broadway.
Get out of here.
It's networking. How did you get here? Realistic.
The same brothers that
Network.
you were working with, actually, if you want to know the truth.
I met someone on a corner. Okay. So basically, I met Frank Stallone. Frank Stallone had just come from Italy. He was unemployed. He was gluing heels in a shoe store. And I was a top star on Billy Rose's Diamond Horseshoe.
Were you a dancer?
Yes, I was, and a tumbler.
I see how you met then.
Well,
You broke a heel, boom, it was love.
No, it wasn't like that. A group of Italians came to Billy Rose's. It was sort of an exchange student thing, and I thought I had to have this guy under any circumstances. It was the worst mistake of my life. The worst night, I should have stayed home with the flu that night.
Or gone to the circus.
But basically, he just didn't like me.
Well, what was it about him that attracted you to him?
His mystique. He didn't say anything. If he couldn't speak English, I thought this is very always be on guard when girls, and when a man's too quiet, don't take it as class or mystique. He's hiding something, believe me. So
It
finally,
had a lot to do with that glue he worked around.
no, basically, it's worse than that. It's worse. So Billy Rose said,
Well, but
please see an astrologer. Something's wrong. I never heard of astrology. Now, you're talking close to 40 years ago. That's how long I've been in it. So the astrologer did his chart and mine and said, it will never work. He gave me 10 reasons why it wouldn't work, and I gave 10 reasons why I can make it work. He said, number 1, the man will be totally dead in bed. I said, what do you mean dead in bed? I'll have a different nightgown every night. I'll be so sexy. I'll have a martini. He'll die for me. Well, number 1, they were right. He was dead in bed. The worst. Then he said he's
well,
a
you got
miser.
3 kids, Jacqueline. He couldn't have been that dead.
So what? Once a year. He was that dead in bed.
And so eventually you guys went your separate ways, obviously.
Yes.
Now, and I've seen you on like the late night psychic hotline kind of thingies. You do that?
Yes, I do.
Now, so someone can call you up on a touch-tone phone and you can read them through the phone.
Well, after 40 years, I think I can.
Really? Could you do me?
Yes, I can.
Do my chart thing?
Basically, I have a book out, and I'm not selling books tonight because they're out of circulation.
Did you bring a book with you?
Yes, for you I did.
What's
and
it
I'm leaving.
called?
Star Power by Jacqueline Stallone.
I see. Eric was reading it before the
I'm
show.
not promoting books. But basically, I wrote a book.
Now, how many when it's all said and done with, how many copies is it going to sell?
It's already been out 4 years. It's in Russia. It's in every country in the world.
How many languages?
13.
That's good.
It is.
Well, but I mean, when it's all, how many copies will it eventually sell? Do you know?
I don't care if it never sells another copy.
But you
It's
should
sold
know.
enough.
You're a psychic.
Do I care?
You're an astrologer. All right, sorry.
Do you want a personality to run down on your makeup? He's got it all written down on the side that everyone in the audience doesn't see you. You look like you have it all together, don't you?
Well,
That
I
you're
thought
pretty
so
tough.
until Dr. came out here.
I don't know whether we should bring Kleenex. This is very emotional. This guy's really a sensitive person. I know. Would you like to read about him?
Now, Mark, you're a Cancer, according to Star Power by Jacqueline Stallone. It says here, water signs are emotional, but you are uncontrollable when it comes to your feelings. There literally is no stopping you when you enter the eye of the storm. Your anger is overwhelming. Your joy has no boundaries. Your sadness is as big as the ocean.
Wow.
That's like that was beautiful. That's a poem, man.
How does that sit with you, Doc?
It's good.
Well, that's encouraging.
Does it say which ocean? As you know, there are many oceans. I mean, a small ocean. I'm sad, but it's like an Atlantic Ocean.
That's nothing.
I'm sad like the Indian Sea. I can't believe how sad I am today.
Would we like to read about the next one?
I know that Charlie is a Virgo. You're a double Virgo, bud.
Yes.
Double Virgo.
The dark side.
This is the dark side of Charlie.
That you don't want anyone to
You have
know.
a martyr complex. You do not relish suffering. You'll criticize whoever is dishing out unfair treatment.
Only you!
You sacrifice personal ambition for the betterment of others, and you feel cheated. The only person you're cheating, mister, is you.
What about the show? I mean, this is a new show. We're just coming out of the blocks. Are we going to be successful?
Yes, you are.
Are we?
Yes, you are.
How successful? What do you think of our prognosis, Doc?
Of the show,
Yeah.
well, I think you're very good at what you do, and I think you're a beautiful, talented, confident woman. I believe.
She said our show's going to be very good, very successful.
Well, in the words of George Kennedy, stay down, Luke. Stay down.
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Come on back. We're out of time. I wanted to thank our guests, Ms. Jacqueline Stallone, Dr. Craig Middleton, and the always dull and boring Mr. Charles Fleischer. Good night, America.